Hi, I'm Dr. Christopher Smith. I'm a faculty member in the Department of Chemistry here at UTRGV, and my research focus is on chemistry education. So I look at how we teach chemistry, how students learn chemistry, and ways that we can make the process more efficient and better. In the chemistry workshops, we plan to cover things like bonding and the periodic table and atomic structure and chemical reactions and balancing reactions, but both from the perspective of the middle school and the high school. So we want to look at those topics on the middle school level and sort of how they vertically align with the high school level as well. They'll walk away with another perspective on the content, as well as a good dose of using the PhET simulations to explore the content. So when you're looking at atoms and reactions and bonding and things like that, sometimes it's difficult to do practicals with them, especially in the classroom, because you need equipment, you need a lot of different chemicals. And so what we turn to sometimes are the PhET simulations to use as, I would say, sort of like online electronic manipulatives. We can explore the topics through that way. So we have here an atom with a nucleus with nothing in it yet, and then we have our shells of electrons. So if we take a proton in here from this pot, we'll put it in, then we can see that it's a hydrogen ion, right? Because there's just one proton, no electrons. Then we can go ahead and put in an electron, then it's a neutral atom. We can stick in a neutron as well. Here we can click to see whether it's a stable or unstable isotope, and so then if we take another neutron and put it in, it's shaking around, so that indicates that it's unstable, and so then we can take one out and then it becomes stable again. The mass number is a drop down here, and then the net charge is drop down here as well. So if we stick in another electron, then it has a net charge of -1 overall. If we take out a neutron, then your mass number goes from 2 to 1. So it's 1 right now with the neutron, and it's going to be 2. Then we take the neutron out and it's going to drop down to 1. And we're looking at this element here, the one that's highlighted in pink on the periodic table. All of these can sort of drop down or I guess be displayed or be hidden, and so then you have a number of different choices that you can do. So we look at this simulation as well as other types of simulations covering the topics of bonding, the periodic table, nomenclature, and chemical reactions. If you're teaching it in a sort of traditional way, then you're sort of just told, okay, this is what it is, this is how many protons you have, this is how many electrons, and this is what it's called. But here students are really free to explore and see what happens as they change those numbers of protons, neutrons, and electrons. We'll be looking at a number of different simulations. There's one on shapes, there's one on bonding, there's one on balancing equations, and they're all very useful. Most of them as well have some sort of game where students can go about and have questions like this, and there are different levels of difficulty in the game. So here, for instance, this atom has 8 protons, 8 neutrons, 8 electrons. Then you're being asked what's the mass number, and so then students have to connect the concept of the mass number with the concept of protons, neutrons, and electrons, and put things together. So the game helps to reinforce what the concepts and topics are, but in a nice, fun, you know, kind of challenging way. Additionally, they do have the PhET simulations in multiple languages, and so if you want to have some Spanish language support, for instance, then you can look at the PhET simulations and use them in another language, in the Spanish language. In addition, there is a part of the PhET simulations where if you're a teacher and you decide to join the PhET simulations community, then you'll gain access to lots of different lesson plans that other teachers have posted dealing with the different simulations. So it's a really, really helpful resource, and something that you can take back and incorporate in your own classroom. So what we'll do is we'll go over some of the content, and then we'll tie in sort of how to, I guess, how to integrate the PhET simulations into the content, and how to highlight and get the content across through the mechanism of the PhET simulations.